In 30 hours, I'm going to be doing a TED Talk. And I walk out, and where it starts to go a little bit downhill. Probably just need to give the glasses a little clean, but I'm feeling pretty good. I can't be trusted. I am nowhere near where I would have liked to be at this point, if I'm being honest. Last night, I said it through the whole way without looking at my outline, which isn't exactly ideal for the day before, I'm going to be honest. But memorising 1,500 words was a challenge. But I am starting to get a little bit anxious about how I haven't really practiced all the really TED-like things. Yeah, I'm kind of pooing my pants, if I'm being honest. But first, I think I need to eat something. My skin has also decided that this is the time it would like to have a reaction to God knows what product. So I'm just moisturising and moisturising and moisturising in the hopes that tomorrow I will look a little bit less puffy. Yay, food. Whilst my wonderful boyfriend is cooking me my breakfast, I am gonna try getting a little bit of practice in. Make sure that I can remember everything that we went over last night. On the inside of my wrist is a plus 52 tattooed. That's 263 studies. Financially, 6,600 days. No, 2,200 days. It is time we all became bilingual.
Nice.
I think that was better than when I did it last night.
Yeah.
Guys, I've got some food. I think I did too much spicy sauce. This is my favourite breakfast in the whole world, guys. Just eggs, potatoes and veggies mixed up all in a pan. Doesn't necessarily look the most aesthetic, but super filling, super nutritious, with olive oil and lots of seasoning as well. Practice number 2 with my slides, and I've got 20 minutes. How long? About 20 minutes before the nail shop opens, and I want to get nails that match my shoes. On the inside of my wrist, there is a plus 52. It is held like a foreign language. Let me just see, I think it is. Found a difference of 3,734. Found an additional 3,700. Oh, I've missed all my slides. 3 days of treating your body like duo. 28 days of treating your body like Duolingo. So I'm literally gonna bring my shoes with me to the nail shop because I want to try and match my shoes as exactly as possible.
Tomorrow's sorted.
I've also charged my Whoop because I am very excited to see what my stress data does when I'm doing my talk, because I think at the beginning of this week I could feel myself getting really stressed about everything and putting a lot of pressure on myself for this talk to be perfect and do really well and not to, waste such an incredible opportunity. And as the week went on, I just realised how detrimental that was going to be to my performance during the talk. So I've made a real concentrated effort to try and regulate my nervous system this week so that in turn, when I step on that stage, I'm not driving myself silly. I want to walk on that stage and have put the work in beforehand so that I can just get up there and have fun. I am expecting this to pick up a considerable amount of stress, because also a good amount of anxiety is good. It means you care, but it will just be interesting to see what my data is saying over the next 24 hours, but I will keep you updated. Doing a TED Talk has always been on my bucket list, and even though this year is all about doing scary things, I firmly believe you can do hard things without burning the candle at both ends. So at the start of 2026, I made a promise to myself to keep focusing on the small, consistent habits that support my health and compound over time. That's why I've been using and telling you about my Whoop for the past 9 months, and honestly, I wish I'd got it sooner. It would have saved me so much second guessing and all that time spent wondering whether I was getting enough sleep, moving or resting in my body enough. One of my favourite features, aside from tracking stress, has to be the sleep insights. It doesn't just show you how long you've slept, but the quality of that sleep too, so you can clearly see how your daily choices are affecting how you feel and function and act accordingly. It's meant I've definitely started paying more attention to my wind down routine before bed. I've recommended it to so many friends and Whoop has kindly given me a special code for you guys too, so if it's been on your radar for a while, take this as a sign to give it a go. I will leave my code and the link in the description box, and if you do try it, I would love to hear what you think. But for now, it's back to getting ready for my first ever TED Talk. Now I need to pack because we are literally leaving in 10 minutes. My outfit got tailored, classic short girl problems, and it got delivered last night. But you're gonna have to wait until tomorrow to see. We have arrived in our hotel. Let me just show you around quickly. Bathroom. Yeah. And I'm gonna do something a little bit strange. I am literally just wearing a jumper and like leggings, and I'm gonna put my heels on and just walk around, practice my talk in my heels, because if I'm being honest, now that I've memorized the talk, my biggest concern is my heels. Prepare yourself for the funniest sight in the entire world, because I ate a burger for lunch and then I just wanted to take off my tight trousers. So for the last hour and a half, I've been practicing prancing around this room, doing my TED Talk. Not only without any trousers on, but in my heels. And I'm pretty sure they are like pretty well broken it by now, but yeah. Sorry, that was maybe a little bit inappropriate. Woohoo. Oh, I did remember a brush. It was less than 24 hours to go at this point. Right, let's go. But first, I had to tackle some pretty big questions.
Hey guys, I'm Shanvi from TEDx Warwick, and today I'm here with
Faye.
So my first question for you is, what does success mean to you?
I would say purpose, because I think we've been sold this idea that everyone will find purpose in their life, but I don't necessarily think that's true. I think it's like gold dust.
How would you describe your talk in 20 seconds?
I travel around the world with an undertone of women's health.
All right, that's quite nice. Imagine your life as a jigsaw puzzle. What has been your missing piece?
Having a mission, I think, a reason to get up in the morning, to keep you going, even when it's awful dark UK winters. Spend a lot more time thinking about who you are as a person rather than what other people think of you, because I think that that is the true way to find what is going to drive you and make your life most enjoyable, but also allow you to be the most authentic version of yourself and attract the most authentic people and opportunities.
Authenticity, I agree with that one.
Yeah, I'll do it at the front, then it feels a little bit more real.
Yeah, nice.
And then back for more practice. But this is the part where I really want to gouge my eyeballs out with toothpicks. Maybe I can't say that I added that one in, but maybe that's a bit of violence that they're not going to like that one.
I quite like that. I like that. It's authentic.
That period for 2,200 days, or approximately 6 years. She is the one speaking gibberish. That's the word. Gibberish. It is time we all became bilingual. Done. Just froze on the start of the. There was a couple of little freezy bits, but
You did miss out section.
what did I miss? Guys, I've got some food. Here we have the tech rehearsal. I've also discovered the best hack for when you feel anxious and stressed, and I want to share it with you guys. But first, guys, I'm so tired. It is 9:20 and I've got my tech rehearsal in 10 minutes. I am lacking the energy to string together a coherent sentence, let alone recall 1,500 words of my talk. So let's just hope this is really, really, really quick and I can go home and sleep, because we have to be up quite early tomorrow as well to try and do my hair, makeup, have breakfast, and then do a TED Talk. But something unexpected was waiting for me at the hotel. Right team, we are back. It is 11 minutes past 10 and I'm feeling pretty okay, dare I say it, and just completely jinx it. I'm gonna put a light on. Oh God, that's quite a lot. I have got a little bit of a tickle brewing in my throat and I am a little bit concerned that the moment I get into that bed, I'm suddenly gonna become really, really, really anxious and I'm not gonna be able to shut my brain off and I'm not gonna get a good night's sleep. My brain is not gonna consolidate all the memorizations that I've done during the day today, and then I'm gonna get on stage and just absolutely forget everything that I wanted to say. So the hotel reception was selling Warwick honey. So we've bought a little pot of honey. Gonna have that in some hot water before bed. We've got a cult documentary on Netflix we're gonna watch that I would 10/10 recommend. I will put it on screen now. And we've got a Yorkie as well, which I think we'll just have as a little sweet treat. I also got some news that some surprise guests are gonna be joining tomorrow, which I did not expect, and I'm very, very, very excited. So I will see you in the morning, ready to go. Well, ready for a hotel breakfast, which I am really looking forward to. Okay, bye. Good morning team. Today I'm doing a TED Talk. And this hair desperately needs a wash. So give me 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Peek. I also do want to share with you this great way to calm your nerves in literally 2 minutes. But before I do that, okay, right team, please ignore my hair. I've curled it and blow dried it and then just stuck it up in a grip so it doesn't fall too quickly. But we're gonna go down for a little hotel breakfast. Not the high. I can see hash brown. Right, okay. Now it's time to get dressed. Dylan has ironed my shirt for me. My outfit is not something I'd normally go for. I'm feeling a little bit apprehensive and like I'm gonna put it on and feel like Lord Farquaad. But I think it looks good. I just think it's a bit out of my comfort zone, which is good. It's always good to broaden our comfort zones, as if today is not a broadening of my comfort zone enough. So, I mean, let me know what you think. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Good. Probably just need to give the glasses a little clean, but I'm feeling pretty good. Hello guys, I am in a room by myself. I watched the first 2 talks and they were phenomenal, like really, really, really good. One was by Heather Fisher, who was an England rugby player, broke her back, had anorexia, and just has got the most incredible story. Please just ignore this napkin, I'm about to have some lunch and I don't want to get anything on my shirt. The most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful story woman. After that was a gentleman called Jit, and he works for Deloitte in cybersecurity, and his talk was basically all about like the choices we make and making sure that we're living consciously and not getting distracted. And it had like really lovely story about him and his son, which was wonderful. But I am gonna have a little look at my Whoop data because they were incredible talks, really, really moving, wonderfully delivered. And I felt the sneaky, sneaky beast of comparison creeping in. And I wanted to have a look at my stress data because my stress peaked at 11:30, which was when we went in for the first talk. So I think all the talks are going to be uploaded to the TEDx website anyway. So I've made the executive decision. I think it's probably best that I just chill now. I know the talk, there's no issues there. If my nerves get the better of me, I just feel like I'm going to bottle it. So I'm just going to chill. I would like to do like some breathing exercises this afternoon, maybe some stretching, and one more run through that's just super, super, super chill. So I can just make sure that everything is in here. I can say it backwards. Excuse the way that I'm sitting. It's to try and stop creases getting in my trousers because I was getting loads of creases from across my legs. Dill has got me a coconut coffee or matcha, I'm not too sure, and my favourite sandwich from Pret, which is the avo, olive and tomato. Yeah, avo, olive and tomato. And then my manager, Rebecca, is also just coming now. Mission, don't get crumbs everywhere. Oh, this is a dangerous game. I can't be trusted. Do some stretches. Because I'm feeling a bit silly.
Like you're gonna have fun with it.
That's what
But
I just.
This is This is a bit boring because you're just practicing.
Yeah, I just want to go up and have fun. That's got to be the
You're there, you're only
intention.
doing it once, so I'll let you do it.
3 minutes.
Each moment has a special significance. But the significance is not found in thinking about it or trying to give it meaning, but rather in appreciating its temporary and fleeting nature. So very often, I think something will happen, or we'll have a moment, and we'll try to almost create. And then when you feel ready, just gently opening the eyes again.
I feel good. That was nice. Appreciating the moment, appreciating the opportunity
Yeah,
whilst I've got it.
exactly. Enjoy it.
Yeah. But to be honest with you guys, the talk isn't even what I am most proud of. It is what I realised when I walked on stage. Oh my god. Right, we are home. I've got Chinese. We've got Chinese. And it's been a little bit of a roller coaster of emotions, I would say, the last few hours. I think I do just have a tendency to be a little bit hard on myself, but I am very tired. So I think I'm gonna eat my Chinese, probably fall asleep on the sofa, and then I'll do a full debrief tomorrow when I have more coherent words about how I'm feeling. Okay. There is something I wish I'd realised years ago, something that can help all my girls who freeze or self-sabotage before they even try. Let's have a little debrief, shall we? Because I feel like I've learnt a lot about myself over the last 24 hours. To start with, I'm going to take you back to Wednesday. Today is Sunday, when my friend Em, she came round to go over my talk with me. I had not memorised it at this point. I just had a little bit of a word vomit to her because I reflected on a personal pattern of behaviour that I do feel like has been a negative personal pattern of behaviour. And that is, to my core, I'm a perfectionist. One of the worst things about putting pressure on yourself for things to be perfect is, in the past, I have just not tried if I don't think that something is going to be perfect, because it is easier to fail if you never tried than it is to try and fail on like your ego. Because if you don't try and you fail, you can blame it on not trying. But if you try and fail, then that is, you know, the only reason for failing is that at that point you were not good enough. And that's just completely the wrong mindset to have. There is nothing wrong with failing, and there's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of in trying. And on Wednesday, I hadn't memorised my talk. I'd written a talk that I'd put my heart and soul into, and I just had not memorised it. I'd been procrastinating memorising it, and I kind of reflected and realised this is this pattern of behaviour that has followed you for like as long as I can remember. I'm pretty sure that is the reason I didn't get my A-level grades first time round. I had to resit my A-levels to get into medical school because I knew that I wasn't going to get the grades that I needed for medical school, or that's what I thought. So subconsciously, I just didn't try, because then I wouldn't have to confront that maybe I just wasn't good enough. I could always say, well, you are capable, you just didn't bother to try. And there's been other situations since then where I have done the same thing, and I noticed I was slipping back into that same pattern on Wednesday. God love Em, because she just let me, you know, vocalise the reflections I was having. And I also realised that I've been putting so much pressure on myself to do like a spectacular job and not waste this opportunity. I remember like the first time I saw a TED Talk, you know, I think it was in English lessons in school before we had like a speaking assessment, and the way TED Talks are put on this like pedestal, I was really getting in my head like, Faye, this has got to be the best talk you've ever given, ever. And I could feel at the beginning of this week, like my heart, my anxiety, that feeling in the pit of your stomach, the butterflies that just don't really go away. And again, on Wednesday when I was speaking to Em, I vocalised this to her, and she said something that really like freed me. When I said, I'm putting pressure on myself that this needs to be the best TED Talk ever. And she said, Faye, it probably won't be the best TED Talk. You'll probably do your best TED Talk in 10 years' time. And that just felt like this pressure taken off my back. And then I saw another Alicia Liu video where she's saying something along the lines of, you know, you're always moving forward. Even if I tried really hard with the TED Talk and I flopped on my face, it was absolutely horrific, went down like a lead balloon, you know, froze in front of people, I would still be moving forward because I still would have the benefit of that experience to learn from. So all of that, I did feel better. And basically the whole lead up to the TED Talk was this exercise in controlling my nervous system and making sure that I was the master of my emotions and I wasn't letting anxiety ruin this for me by putting pressure on myself or getting in my head or overthinking it or, you know, all these things, because I've done talks in the past where I've planned and I've prepared and then I've got on stage and I've just felt my heart like completely go and I've rushed the talk and it's clear and I'm not breathing properly and I'm evidently not owning that space or feeling like I belong. So anyway, fast forward to just before the TED Talk, doing the headspace was hands down the best thing I could have done just before I went on. It was maybe 10 minutes after I did the headspace I went on. When I was getting mic'd up, I literally sat down on the floor. Probably looked a little bit silly, but I just wanted to feel as relaxed as possible, which, you know, you're never going to be in this super zen space when you're about to go out and do public speaking for 15 minutes. But, you know, everything I knew keeps me calm. I was trying to do that. So like Dylan was attached to my hand for as long as he possibly could be, because he keeps me on this really level, chill vibe, focusing on my breathing, everything. And then where it started to go a little bit downhill was I walked out and all the talks were running quite behind. So it started at like 11 in the morning. And by the point I went on, it was like 5. And basically all the talks get uploaded to the TEDx YouTube. So everything's filmed. But the license that they have when they're recording them is they can only have 100 people there for the recording. And I had seen the first 2 talks in the morning, but by the time I went on stage, it was like 5 p.m. And I walk out and I just saw like so many empty seats. Like the auditorium, I reckon there were half as many people as there were in the morning. And I can't lie, it did make me feel quite sad. I think first and foremost because I'm so passionate about everything I said in that talk. And it just felt like no one was there. Like I put a lot of work into it, and that was like a little bit disheartening. And then also there was someone on like the front row, a man, sorry. It shouldn't matter, but it was a man. There was like a man on the front row and he was just on his phone the whole time. And it probably was quite beneficial because my nervous system was so regulated the entire time, because I was thinking, not many people are even listening. And I came out and there was like a breakout room where I got to chat with lots of wonderful people. And I met some of you guys who listen to the podcast, and that just absolutely, like, that was wonderful. There were some people that I met that I honestly thought I was going to cry speaking to them, just, you know, clearly very different people to the person who was sat on the front row on their phone for the entirety of my talk. Girlies who were passionate about the message, the girlies that got it, and that was wonderful. And I got to speak to one of the other speakers who was absolutely wonderful, and I felt better. And then I met up with my mum and dad afterwards, spent some time with my mum, my dad and Dylan, which was really gorgeous. And then me and Dylan went to go get the train back, and I do think that Dylan just has like a sixth sense when it comes to my emotions. And he was like, how are you feeling, you know? And I said, you know, the audience felt kind of flat, didn't really feel like they were engaged, didn't really felt like they cared. A lot of people had left since the morning. That was quite disheartening. I'm beating myself up a little bit. I felt like maybe parts of the talk were quite corporate, because I think when you memorize something, it's really difficult to maintain that authentic emotion without it sounding like you're reading off a script, you know? And I wanted it to feel like something I was so unbelievably passionate about and cared so much about. And I just didn't want it to come across as fake and crying on camera. But yeah, it's obviously something that I do care a lot about. And Dylan was just, you know, looked me in the eyes and was like, I'm so proud of you. And He has spent hours and hours and hours with me, helping me memorise that talk, you know, every single fact, every single point about the research, you know, like pacing it up and down, watched me memorise those numbers like the back of my hand. Like I could recite it in my sleep, and then to just walk out and there be like no one there and someone on their phone in the front row, just and we had a really good chat, and I memorised 1,500 words 3 days ago. I did not think that was possible, or I was so anxious about it. Lots of the other speakers had their speaker notes up on a TV screen. I did it without any speaker notes from start to end. I didn't forget anything. That is something to be proud of. And regulating my nervous system for those 15 minutes is also a huge achievement. And I am really proud of myself. But yeah, straight afterwards, on the train back, I was just so tired and I felt really quite disheartened. But today I'm feeling better. I feel like I've put it more in perspective than I had yesterday, which is good. Everything gets uploaded to the TEDx YouTube channel. I don't know when that will be. The last one that they did still isn't up, and I think that's from a year ago. So I do think it will be quite a long time until the YouTube video of the talk is up. When it is up, I will put it on my Instagram because I put my heart and soul into that talk. That man on the front row on his phone for the entire thing did not deserve to see that, and you bet that when that recording is up, I do not care if my voice is icking me out through the whole thing. It is going on my Instagram because the message in that talk is so bloody important. At the end of the day, I did Alicia Lou my way through that TED talk, and that is what I am most proud of. I just had fun, I enjoyed myself, and I spoke about something that I was passionate about, and that is the bottom line. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.